Sometimes I think Grand Central is growing like a tree, pushing out new corridors and staircases like roots. There's probably a long tunnel that nobody knows about, feeling its way under the city right now, on its way to Times Square, and maybe another to Central Park. And maybe, because for so many people through the years, Grand Central has been an exit, a way of escape. Maybe that's how the tunnel got into. But I never told my psychiatrist friend about that idea. So now he hasn't told his friend about an idea that grand level is an exit. Now see, here Charlie in a way accepts that he has used Grand Central as an exit, number one, as a way of escape, number two, and number three, that is the way of getting into it. Why? Because looking at it like it's an exit. And number four, he has never told his psychiatrist friend about the idea that he can exit the world through the Grand Central Station level 3. These are the points that show that yes, definitely, what all Charlie was doing it deliberately, but he was hiding the truth that he has exits, that he escapes the reality, and he's hiding this truth from his wife as well as his friend. The I was in began angling left and slanting downward, and I thought that was wrong, but I kept on walking. All I could hear was the empty sound of my own footsteps, and I didn't pass a soul. Then I heard that sort of hollow roar ahead that means open space and people talking. So it reaches a place where there are people. The tunnel sharpened left. I went down a short flight of stairs and came down and came out on the third level at the Grand Central Station. So he has reached this third level through a tunnel, through a long staircase, like a tree, opening there, ending there, turning there, twisting there, angling and slanting. The road to the third level was a very strange one. So now we proceed. For just a moment, I thought I was back on the second level, but I saw the room was smaller. There were fewer ticket windows and train gates. I marked all these points in blue. Here on, you have to mark the points. How was the third level different? He has reached it here. I saw the room was smaller, there were fewer ticket windows and train gates, and the information booth in the center was wood and old looking. So, it was made of wood, it looked like an old structure, and the man in the booth wore a green eye shade and long black sleeve protectors. अब जो booth पे आदमी था उसकी dress was also different. The lights were dim and sort of flickering. Lights are different. Then I saw why. There were open flame gas lights. These are old kind of lights. Gaslight is like we people used to have laltain called a lantern. वो किसी गैस पे किसी फ्यूल पे चलती थी, तो ये गैस पे चलती थी, gas lights. They were open flame gas lights. Next. There were brass spittoons. Spittoons are big containers meant for people to spit into it, थूकने के लिए. And across the station, a glint of light caught my eye. A man was pulling a gold watch from his vest pocket. People are not wearing wristwatches. They are carrying watches in their pockets. He snapped open the cover, glanced at his watch, and frowned. He wore a derby hat, black four-button suit with tiny lapels, and he had a big black handlebar mustache. Now, if you want, I can explain this. डर्बी हैट एक तरह की हैट होती है. लेपल्स होते हैं वो कॉलर, एक ट्रायंगुलर सा पैटर्न सा होता है कॉलर्स वाला जो होता है कोट के ऊपर, दैट इज़ कॉल्ड अ लेपल. तो टाइनी लेपल्स थे उसके, टाइनी थे, छोटे थे, मतलब पुराने फैशन का था. बिग बैग, ब्लैक हैंडल बार मुस्टैश, हैंडल बार जैसी उसकी मुस्टैशेस थी. आई ट्राई टू कीप ऑल दीज 3 पिक्चर्स, आई विल शो यू. Then I looked around and saw that everyone in the station was dressed like 1890 something. तो ये टाइम इनका जो फैशन था वो 1890s वाला था. I never saw so many beards. Sideburns is a side पे जो बहुत सारा bushy we make a kind of beard. That is a sideburn. See the picture. Fancy mustaches in my life. A woman walked in through the train gate. She wore a dress with leg of mutton sleeves. This also is a kind of dress. I am showing you the picture here. Skirts to the top of her high buttoned shoes. Back of her, out on the tracks, I caught a glimpse of a locomotive. All these pictures I have put. You can see now. I've put them. A very small Currier and Ives locomotive with a funnel shaped stack. You can see the funnel shaped structure on the top, that is called a funnel shaped stack, funnel jaisa. Then I knew. He knew what? That he is in a very old time. He's gone into the past. To make sure, I walked over to a newsboy and glanced at the stack of papers at his feet. अब सेकंड क्लूज, पहले तो उसको सारा क्लू मिला फिजिकल डिस्क्रिप्शन से, दैट ही इज़ इन अ वेरी ओल्ड टाइम. नाउ ही विल गेट द फैक्ट्स. It was the World. The World is a newspaper that hasn't been published for years. The lead story said something about President Cleveland. See the green box. President Cleveland was in power from 1885 to 1897. I have found that the front page since in the public library files, and it was printed June 11, 1894. This is the date of the day on which day he is there at the third level. I turned towards the ticket windows, knowing that here on the third level at Grand Central I could buy tickets that would take Louisa and me anywhere in the US we wanted to go in the year 1894. And I wanted 2 tickets to Galesburg, Illinois. He wants to go to Galesburg, Illinois. Why? Why? Because he wants to go to a place that is where his grandfather used to live long time back. Have you been there? It's a wonderful town still, with big old frame houses, huge lawns and tremendous trees whose branches meet overhead and roof the streets. तो ये जो 3 बातें उसने बताई हैं अभी, these are of the present. That even now in the present, this Galesburg, Illinois is a beautiful place to be. And in 1894 it was even more beautiful. Summer evenings were twice as long. People sat on their lawns, men smoking cigars, talking quietly, women waving palm leaf fans with fireflies all around in a peaceful world. This is what that he longs for. This is what he wants his present to be like. To be back there with the First World War still 20 years off and World War II over 40 years in the future. I wanted 2 tickets for that. So he wants a place which is not affected by the consequences of the war, the place which is not so fast, a place where people spend time quietly, lovingly, peacefully. He wants to reach that kind of a place. The clerk figured the fare. He glanced at my fancy hatband, but he figured the fare. So he saw the fare very queerly, very observantly. And I had enough for 2 coach tickets. Now, whatever money he has in the pocket, he wants to use that money to buy the tickets in this time of 1894. But what is the clerk doing? He is observing the money. What kind of money he is giving? When I counted out the money and looked up, the clerk was staring at me. He nodded at the bills. That ain't money, mister. And if you are trying to skin me, you won't get very far. He says, are you trying to fool me by giving me fake money? Now the clerk in 1894, how would he recognize, how would he accept the money of the present times, of the modern world? So clearly he says that this is not money. Are you fooling me by giving me fake currency? And the moment Charlie realizes that he is going to be caught and arrested for the charges of using fake money, he gets scared. Of course, the money, he glances at the cash drawer beside him. He looks at the drawer next to the clerk, and there the money was old style bills. Half again as big as the money we use nowadays. It was bigger and and different looking. I turned away and got out fast, so he ran away. There's nothing nice about jail even in 1894. Why does he say that? Because he got scared. He's going to be pulled and he's going to be arrested, he's going to be put in jail. So he gets scared and he runs away. And that was that. I left the same way I came, I suppose. Next day during the lunch hour, now next day he'll decide all over again to buy the tickets and reach the third level. And this time he'll play a trick, make a plan to use the correct currency. For that, what he will do? I drew $300 out of the bank, nearly all we had. He takes all his savings and bought the old style currency. He'll buy the currency of 1894. That really worried my psychiatrist friend, and when his psychiatrist friend came to know, he got worried. What are you up to? Why are you buying old currency also? Earlier you used to collect stamps of olden times and used to preserve them. Now you are spending money, your savings on the old currency. You can buy old money at almost any coin dealers, but you have to pay a premium, but you have to pay something extra. So my $300 bought less than 200 in old style bills. But I didn't care. Eggs were 13 cents a dozen in 1894. This indicates that things were a lot more cheaper. He would buy so much more with this little amount, less than $200, which is equivalent to his present savings. But this much is going to get him lots in 1894. Now, what do you think? Will he be able to go there? Go in a place where cost of living is lower, things are cheaper. So he plans for a journey. Do you think he'll be able to go? Definitely, he'll not be able to go. I've never again found the corridor that leads to the third level at Grand Central Station, although I've tried often enough, and he's not able to reach there. Now, Louisa was pretty worried when I told her all this, and didn't want me to look for the third level anymore. So, notice, earlier when Louisa was told that Charlie used to indulge into waking dream wish fulfillment, she was angry. This time, when she came to know that Charlie has been looking for the third level, she's worried. And after a while, I stopped. I went back to my stamps, but now we are both looking every weekend, because now we have a proof that the third level is still there. Now, what is the proof that the third level is still there? And this proof changes the mindset of Louisa also. What is this proof? It begins here. My friend Sam Wiener disappeared. Nobody knew where. But I sort of suspected, because Sam is a city boy, number one. I used to tell him about Galesburg and went to school there, number two. And he always said he liked the sound of the place, number three. And that's where he is. All right, in 1894. Where has Sam gone? To a place in 1894. This is Galesburg of 1894. And this place has the benefits that it has a good sound. He liked the sound of the place. So, because one night fussing with my stamp collection, how does he come to know? One night when he was, looking at his stamp collection, he finds something. You know what a first day cover is? Now he will explain what a first day cover is. I've explained that already. When a new stamp is issued, stamp collectors buy some and use them to mail envelopes to themselves on the very first day of the sale, and the postmark proves the date. The envelope is called a first day cover. They are never opened. You just put blank paper in the envelope. So I have explained all this to you about the first day cover. What is a first day cover? I'll tell you quickly once again. New stamp is issued on a special envelope and it is sent blank. It is circulated blank. People do what? People buy it and they send it to themselves. And they just keep it. They just preserve it. So this is what it's like, a proof of the first day cover. It's like the excitement behind it is of the first show of a new movie. First show of a new movie. It is the same thing. So people keep it. But here what he sees. He sees that there is a first day cover, but it is not blank. That night amongst my oldest first day covers, I found one that shouldn't have been there. And this first day cover should not have been there because it was not there earlier. It has appeared all of a sudden just now. But there it was. It was there because someone had mailed it to my grandfather. It was there because someone had written it to my grandfather and it was mailed. So it had reached here. Can you notice the element of mystery? अब here I'll explain this thing very quickly. अगर किसी ने एक फर्स्ट डे कवर उसके ग्रैंडफादर को भेजा 1894 में, ग्रैंडफादर वॉज अलाइव, किसी ने भेजा उसको एक फर्स्ट डे कवर, ओके, किसी ने भेज दिया, मान लिया, पर वो चार्ली तक कैसे पहुंचा? इट शुड नॉट हैव बीन देयर चार्ली सेइंग दिस. चार्ली तक कैसे पहुंचा? कैसे वो उस पाइल ऑफ फर्स्ट डे कवर्स में आया होगा? नो पोस्टमैन कुड हैव कम, नो पोस्ट मास्टर कुड हैव कम. अगर पोस्ट मास्टर आया तो वो उठा के कहाँ से लाया? वो प्रेजेंट में चल के कैसे आया? पास्ट से कवर उठा के कैसे लाया? सो दिस गैप, दिस लिंक इज मिसिंग. This is the element of mystery. Someone had mailed it to my grandfather at his home in Galesburg, and that's what the address on the envelope said. And it had been there since July 18, 1894. The postmark showed that. Yet I didn't remember it at all. कहता मेरे को नहीं याद कि मैंने फर्स्ट डे कवर कब देखा. The stamp on it was 6 cent, dull brown with a picture of President Garfield. 6 cent, इतनी सस्ती स्टैम्प उसके ऊपर लगी हुई थी, डल ब्राउन कलर की, पिक्चर ऑफ प्रेसिडेंट गारफील्ड. प्रेसिडेंट गारफील्ड ऑल्सो रूल्ड इन द 19th century. Naturally, when the envelope came to Granddad in the mail, it went right into his collection and stayed there till I took it out and opened it. The paper inside was blank and it read. अब यहाँ पे एलिमेंट ऑफ मिस्ट्री आपने देख लिया कि नेचुरली जैसे वो आया ग्रैंडफादर के पास, वो कलेक्शन में चला गया और मैंने उसको खोला. ग्रैंडफादर ने उसे कभी नहीं खोला, नंबर 1. एंड सेकेंडली, ये कैसे हुआ? ग्रैंडफादर ने रिसीव कैसे किया? ग्रैंडफादर इज नॉट देयर एनी मोर. चलो, द पेपर इनसाइड वाज इन ब्लैंक पेपर, हैज़ अ लेटर. लोड द एड्रेस गेल्सबर्ग. एड्रेस में लिखा है, डेट इज जुलाई 18, 1894. Charlie, I got to wishing that you were right. Then I got to believing you were right. And Charlie, it's true. Note the 3 sentences. Psychiatrist है ये जो Sam है. This person is written by Sam and Sam is the same psychiatrist. That is why he says, Charlie, I used to wish that you were right, that there is something where we can exit and we can escape. But in reality, what was he saying? He was calling him mad. He says later on, I got to believe what you are saying is right. Possibly he also saw that third level. And thirdly, yes, Charlie, it's true. I found the third level. I've been here 2 weeks, and right now down the street at the Dailies, someone is playing a piano. Why is he saying that? He likes the sound of the time. So he likes this musical thing. They're all out on the front porch singing, Seeing Nellie Home. And this is a very old famous song in America. They are singing this song, number 1. Can you recall what Charlie told that he misses in his present life, and he possibly thinks that it is going to be available in the third level, Galesburg? So people are singing together, spending time. And I'm invited over for lemonade, so people are partying together. Come on back, Charlie and Louisa. Keep looking till you find the third level. So now he tells them to keep looking for it. This is the reason why Louisa now agrees, and she is also looking for the third level. Every weekend they go and look for it. It's worth it, believe me. The note is signed Sam. This is how Sam disappeared, and where did he go? He went to the third level. From there he is writing a letter. He is posting a first day cover on Charlie's address, intended to be received by Charlie, but written to Charlie's grandfather, because at that time he cannot write to Charlie outside. So it was sent to grandfather, but it is opened by Charlie because Charlie would receive it in the present. At the stamp and coin store I go to, I found out that Sam bought $800 worth of old style currency that ought to set him up in a nice little hay feed and grain business. He always said that that's what he really wished he could do, and he certainly can't go back to his old business. Not in Galesburg, Illinois, his old business. Why? Sam was my psychiatrist. What was Sam's old business? The profession of a psychiatrist. But in 1894, there were no psychiatrists. The science hadn't developed so much at that time, and people wouldn't go mad like Charlie does. So psychiatrist he was, Mr. Sam. and he reaches Galesburg. He has some amount, $800 old style currency. Initially, he was thinking that Charlie was doing a mistake by buying the old currency, but he himself did that. And with this amount of $800, he could begin a hay feed and grain business, traditional agricultural business in America in those times. He finds it so easy to do because he is attuned, he is adapted to the modern day business competition. So he's doing well in those times because people are simple, they are not so cunning in those times. And he's happy that he's doing what he wished to do. And now he says he cannot go back to his old business because he was initially a psychiatrist and he cannot earn as a psychiatrist in 1894. So that was the chapter. I hope you've understood. If you want, I can quickly tell you once again. चार्ली को उसके फ्रेंड सैम ने गेल्सबर्ग 1894 से एक फर्स्ट डे कवर पोस्ट किया, पर वो चार्ली तक कैसे पहुंचेगा? एड्रेस इज द सेम एड्रेस एज ऑफ चार्लीज ग्रैंडफादर. तो उस एड्रेस पे वो भेजता है. वो लेटर पास्ट में भेजी गई है तो वो ऑटोमेटिकली, हमें नहीं पता कि कैसे, वो पहुंच जाती है चार्ली के फर्स्ट डे कवर कलेक्शन में. बस उस लेटर को ओपन कौन करेगा? चार्ली. एड्रेस ग्रैंडफादर वाला है बट ग्रैंडफादर इज़ नॉट देयर. उनकी सिर्फ कलेक्शन है वहाँ पे. कलेक्शन तक वो लेटर पहुँच जाती है और उसको ओपन कौन करता है? चार्ली, क्योंकि चार्ली ही इज़ द ओनली वन हु कैन ओपन इट because he is there alive in the present. This gap adds the point of mystery to the chapter. How has the author used the Grand Central Station as a symbol of man's tendency to escape into the oblivion? How did Charlie get an idea of the date of time he had entered? Answer these questions, find their answers. I've discussed them already. If you can't do that, get back to me. And here we end the phase 2.